Hi everyone, welcome back to our kitchen. You remember at the very beginning of when we started doing these recipes, we asked you if you wanted to go ahead and submit to us some of your favorite family recipes and see if we could do a healthy makeover. Well, we're going to demonstrate that today. This is one of our family's very favorite desserts. We just call it Mark's mom's 4-layer yummy dessert. So I'm going to use it. It's going to be vegan even, I'm using almond milk, and it's going to be chocolate pudding. It's going to have a cream cheesy layer that isn't cream cheese. So here we go. I've already melted 3 tablespoons of margarine into my pan. My beautiful new green pans. Green's my favorite color. Thank you to my daddy for my new pots and pans. I love them. Okay, so we're going to have 1/3 of a cup of cocoa. Okay, so how about this? And I'm mixing the cocoa and the cornstarch and the sugar together in another dish so it's incorporated before we put it in the pan, okay? And then we have, okay, and then 1/4 of a cup of cornstarch, and that's going to make it thicken, of course. Did I say 1/4 of a cup? I hope I said 1/4 of a cup. Okay, and in fact, I'm going to put just a smidgen more than that because if you're going to make it for pie, you make a little bit more cornstarch. It would still be pudding with 1/4, but I'm just putting just like a tablespoon more than that in there for that. Okay, and sugar, we want 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Yes, it is still dessert, but it's going to be way improved. Let's just do this the easy way. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then I just put a smidgen, let's say 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. I think we've mentioned before that we like to use Himalayan salt. It is, you research it yourself because I don't want to be responsible for this one because I'm not absolutely sure. But I have read about it, and supposedly it's supposed to be better as far as your blood pressure goes. But I'm not the expert on that, so look it up. But you'll be happy to see what you find out about pink Himalayan salt. And you can order that from Amazon. Very easy. Get it in a couple of days. All right, so I think I have everything mixed in here that I want to put with that margarine. Let me make sure we had 1/3 of a cup of cocoa, 3/4 of a cup of sugar, cornstarch, and just a smidgen of salt. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. And we'll get that going. And then just gradually, we're going to add 3 cups of almond milk. And you could use soy milk or, you can use real milk if you want. But why? When you taste this, you'll say, why would I? There's really no taste other than just yummy chocolate pudding in this, I promise. Now while our chocolate vegan pudding is cooling, because it has to be completely cool before we can pour it on the layer of cream cheese, we're going to make our crust and get that in the oven so that it can cool. Okay, so it's very simple. 2 ingredients we're going to do. I have already in here softened our margarine. So you'll want to have 1/2 a cup of margarine. And then I'm going to put a little bit more than a cup of flour. Now you could use whole wheat, but use pastry flour if you do that. In fact, I wish I had thought to do that, but I didn't this time, so I'm just using white flour. So I'm putting about another 1/4 of a cup. We'll have those measurements on there for you. Taking a fork, I'm not going to add salt to it because it doesn't need it. And just do this like you would do a pie crust or anything. We're just going to, very, very simple step here. And eventually, we'll layer all this together, and you can see how it goes together. I'm pretty sure that a lot of you have probably had this dessert, the original one. So if you have, I'm sure you love it, and you're going to love this makeover. because you're going to feel better about it. Okay, that looks pretty good. Looks about like a pie crust, you know, just small crumbles. And then I'm going to just put it in this 9x13 pan. I very lightly sprayed it. It doesn't need very much, but it will stick if you don't put a little bit in there. So I did do that. Okay, I'm going to dump this in. And with my clean washed hands, I'm going to press it in. And you could do a graham cracker crust if you like that better. And that would be good. I've never done that because I kind of like this flaky crust. And this is the one that most of you are familiar with if you've had this recipe. But you sure could do a graham cracker crust if you wanted to. That would add a little bit of nutrition too. Or a whole wheat pastry crust. Now the reason you need to use pastry flour whenever you're doing like muffins or a crust or anything is if you use just regular whole wheat, it's going to be really heavy, which is okay. But the pastry flour, which you can get in the grocery store, does make it crumbly, more flaky. Okay, we're going to put this in the oven, 375 for about 15 minutes, but check it before that. You just want it golden brown, and then you'll cool that completely. Okay, now we're going to make our layer with the cream cheese, and what I'm using here is a wonderful product that you can get from Aldi, and again, it's, well, this is earth grown, it says. Okay, so I love this. I'm using this in everything. So this is a cream cheese that's plant-based. Okay, so I'm going to put, I just got a little bit left in this other one. So the recipe calls for 8 ounces, but I'm putting a little bit more because I had some left and because we love it. So I'm going to put that in the mixer with one other ingredient. 1 cup of powdered sugar. And I'm going to go ahead and take this over to my mixer. I'll mix that up, then I'll come back with it. Okay, so now I've just mixed that until it's really, really smooth, just like you would if you were doing any kind of cream cheese, like for cheesecake or anything like that. And then I'm going to add to that just a cup of whipped topping. And I always use the light whipped topping. And then I'm just going to lightly fold that in. We don't want to whip it. I'm not going to mix it with the mixer, but I'm going to just lightly fold that in. And I could use it right now if everything was ready, but I want to let that crust cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this as it is in the fridge, cover that up and put it in there, and it'll be ready when we're ready to layer.
Okay, we're back to assemble our torte. So Gwen's going to let me help her out a little bit here. This is one of my favorite desserts ever.
Yeah, okay. So first we had our crust that we made. Very simple. And now we're going to put our cream cheese, which isn't cream cheese, but very delicious. Look at that.
It looks so light and fluffy.
Yeah, it is.
She's made this so many times, and I've never made it or seen her make it, nor have I actually tried to make it myself yet. So to actually see all the steps of this is very good, because I know what the crust is supposed to look like and all of that.
This never lasts very long at our little gatherings either. I think you're going to be happy with it. And I use that cream cheese that we mentioned that is in here for anything that I would have used. Let's use that, if you don't mind that side. Anything that we would use cream cheese for.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've just got too much on this side.
I grew up eating just peaches and cream cheese instead of peaches and cottage cheese. I know a lot of people did that.
Oh.
And I've actually tried that cream cheese, and it's really good to have peaches and cream cheese with that.
Well, I made it in a recipe yesterday for church with mashed potatoes.
Is that what you did?
Yeah.
They were so good. John and I were talking last night. Man, what was in those potatoes? They were so good.
Yes, that was another recipe that was I want to say overhaul. What are we saying? A makeover. Yeah, it had cream cheese and sour cream of this brand that we're using here. And I don't know. It tastes the same to me.
Okay.
I'll lick that spoon later.
Yes.
Okay,
All right.
now go ahead and put our vegan chocolate pudding on it.
Can't wait.
And it is really important to let everything cool first. This isn't something you can make in 5 minutes, but you know,
It's
you
worth
can do
the
it.
time.
Yeah, you can do it in stages, you know, like we did. Just leave it for a while to cool, because you don't want that cream cheese melting underneath all of this. So. You can lick that spoon later.
Okay, I'll lick this whole bowl a little bit. Man, is it good.
Okay, I'm just going to put it to the edges. All right, and now all we're going to do is just spread the whipped topping on the top.
Okay.
This took 1 carton of light whipped topping for the whole recipe, so.
Because we use the other part of this in the cream cheese filling,
Right.
right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I like that this can be a vegan recipe.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, it's got sugar and things in it, but
Right.
when you need a dessert, man,
Yeah.
not only can you make a vegan dessert, you can make a delicious
Right.
vegan dessert. This is, oh.
And you're doing a really great job. Oh, because you have a clean spoon.
Oh.
But I don't even worry about it. I just swirl it all together because I don't care. If you do care, then you'll have to have. There, you can choose how you want to do it. It's all gonna come together, and the little swirly is kind of pretty too. So. Anyway, it's going to be delicious either way. Now, something else you could do, I've never done this, I only just thought of it right now, and that is if you like nuts, and walnuts are so
Ooh.
good for you with the, well, they're good for your brain for many reasons. And you could just sprinkle some finely chopped nuts on top, I think. So.
All
Anyway,
right.
so there we, oh, I messed it up. Well, I saw it a little high here maybe, but I don't think I spread it out to my half there. Okay, there it is.
Oh.
And yeah, we don't want to eat it immediately. You want to put it in the fridge and let it all just kind of pack together.
Okay, about
Or-
an hour or
Yeah, at least an
at least
hour.
an hour? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you
Can't
guys,
wait.
you have to try this recipe. Seriously, I'm so excited. I can't wait for this hour to be up.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
Thanks, Gwen.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. See ya.